everyone. Welcome to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. And beside me is going to be my co-host tonight, Ron. Didn't know he was going to be here for this. He's usually here. He's just not usually here. So, and as you can see, I got a little helper in the background. So if you notice anything weird, just ignore it. Just ignore it.
Hey, Susan and Mike.
So Farah's going to be a little bit late. It was the granddaughter's birthday, and they're on the phone with her now, telling her happy birthday. So I told her, just come in late. We'll be fine. So, hey there, Rosalie. Ron's looking forward to meeting you in person in November, Rosalie, at your wedding.
Yeah.
Not too long. So, while we wait for Farah, we're going to talk to you.
Feels like July here, but
yeah. Well, Rosalie's daughter lives over in Defuniak Springs, so it's not going to be much different for her. Hey, guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about the paranormal conference that we went to over the weekend. We had a really good time. There were some people there we already knew, and there were some people there that we met brand new. And we'll be bringing some of those to you guys on either this show or on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. So be looking forward to that. It would be a really nice segue into what everybody else is doing out there, because a lot of us are just, most of the people who listen are in the same part of the country that we used to be in. And some things are a little bit different here. We met one guy. He's called the Crayon Man. He's an artist, but he was also a paranormal investigator. He used to investigate 5 days a week. I can't even imagine that.
I know. Hey, Cassie.
So, hey, Cassie. And we spent the weekend with my old producer, Kat Hobson, and we had a really good time with her. And so, Fate Magazine, check it out. Lots of good stories, lots of information, and check out her shows. And if you want to know where they are, send me a message, and I'll tell you where to find them. So,
hey, Mom.
But yeah, we're going to be talking to some people about quantum healing and hypnosis, the ghost hunting housewives. We're going to be talking to Michael Kratz. He's a holistic coaching and wellness guy. He's so interesting. He's got a podcast.
Yes, they still publish Fate Magazine.
Yes, they have been publishing it since 1947. And these are issue 735, 736, and 737. So that's a lot. So maybe as many as they've made for Better Homes and Gardens. Who knows? We met some really nice ladies from up in Crestview, Florida, that just recently took classes on how to open up and how to be a medium, but learning how to channel that abilities. And oh wow, that's great. Cassie says that the building they offer tours in downtown Leavenworth, let me get that on there, had tons of Fate magazines from the 70s, I think. Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
For some of you may remember Fate magazine has been this little digest size forever and ever. And you used to be able to get it at stores, bookstores and stuff. And now you can only get it online or get it by subscription and online. So we're going to be talking to a lady named Willa. She's an intuitive messenger. We had some good laughs. She said, she told me her name. She said her name was Lacey. And I said, well, that's funny. That's my daughter's name. And she goes, why? She goes, I usually, I go by Lacey, but she goes, my middle name's Denise. And I go, that's funny. So is mine. So we had a lot in common. She's just up here in Dothan. So she's doing readings up there. She's really very nice. But the ladies we met up there in Crestview, I think you guys are going to like. They're really funny, and they got lots of stories.
Oh, yeah.
We had to move them along because they had so many stories. And let's see who.
Yeah, that's when I asked them if they just wanted to be on the show. Yeah. Their eyes got real big, and I said, "Wow, we've never been asked that."
And then we met Richard and Colleen Johnson of EVP, Ethereal Voices Paranormal. I don't know how many EVP paranormal teams there are, but
same logos.
Yeah, and the same logos too, which, yeah, it is weird that they've decided to go with the neon green and stuff. But and then we met a couple of the Wraith Chasers, Chris and Mike, and talked to them for a little while. I think it was funny when I said, well, yeah, 2 days worth. Heckled them when they were talking. You know, that's the fun part, get to heckle. But yeah, it was funny. We were talking to them about haunted towns, and I told them, you know, I was so glad when they got rid of Sparky on there. And they just smiled. They knew who I meant.
Yeah.
And because I like Jesse better, the second guy that was on there. He was Jesse Blaze Snyder. He was Dee Snyder's kid. He was pretty good. And but like I said, we had a lot of fun talking to them, and they shared what they're working on. So be watching for something from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers in March. And it's not going to be on TV. It's going to be probably streaming on Prime or YouTube, but they're going to be putting some stuff out on their YouTube channel with the teasers and stuff on that. So check that out.
October 1st.
Yeah, October 1st is going to be the first
teaser.
The teaser, and then October 31st they're going to have another one. And because they're not signed with anyone, they could tell us that they were working on something. They haven't named it yet. Mm-hmm. They think they have a name, but they said that they weren't 100% sure with the name. But asked him where Brandon was, Brannon, and they said that he works too much to go out and investigate.
Ghost mob.
Yep. Yeah, they're thinking ghost mob, but it's going to be interesting. The concept is pretty good. I'm not going to share what their concept is at this point. I think that's more up to them. They've said that they would be on the show, so I look forward to having them on one of the shows based on their time frame. But it won't be for a few weeks because they're going to England.
Yep.
So off to New York next week and the UK the following week. And I don't know. I think we just had way more fun than we probably should have. We laughed a lot. Ended up manning some people's tables for them. Little do they know, Ron gave away some radio shows on WBHM-DB.com. So be looking forward to those. So it was funny. And we're going to be bringing on Mark Elliott Fultz as well. He lives here in Milton, but he used to do tours in Chattanooga. He's got 13 books, and Kat was telling us about him. She said that he channeled, and it wasn't him. You were not talking to him. You were talking to whoever it was that he was channeling.
I know where they were at.
And
I don't think she said.
They asked him why his face was on the post office wall, and he told her it was none of her business. So I think it was a local jail.
I think it was somewhere around this area.
And we got lots of good information about Fort Morgan over there in, Alabama, near Gulf Shores. And they were really surprised at all the stuff that we got out. Well, the stuff that I told them I felt out at Fort Gaines, which is right across the water at Dauphin Island. And they were telling us about some of the other forts here that we can now get to, that they're open to the public. And so we're going to be getting to check some of those out. But yeah, it's really opening up going out there. And so if you guys remember back in January, I interviewed Erica from Second Sight Paranormal. She is the one that put on the Paracon. And our granddaughter had a great time. I mean, there was stuff here for kids.
Oh, lots.
There was a place for them to go and play, not to mention they could go outside and play on the inflatables.
Play with alligators and snakes.
Play with alligators, monitors. Yep. We got pictures of Piper with a chameleon in her hair and tarantula in her hand.
Yep.
She's braver than I am. I would not touch the tarantula. So, but the alligator was running all around. I mean, we saw it quite a few times running around the place. There was also scary clowns, and Ron got pictures of the costume contest that they had, and this one girl was dressed up like Maleficent, and oh my goodness, she played the role well.
Oh yeah,
she won. She won the costume contest. But there was also Donatello Ghostbusters, so I thought that was good too.
It's different.
Yeah, I mean, mixed together two of your favorite movies, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the...
And two guys were dressed as Ghostbusters. They had the outfits on. They even had the proton pack, the guns, and they even had the ghost trap. And did a demonstration of it. So
and it didn't work, and they're sitting there hitting it just like in the movie. But I don't think they meant to.
Yeah, they went through a lot of trouble to put all that together.
Yeah, they also had a car outside that was all dressed up as well. We also had the fun "You're going to hell in a handbasket" guy out on the street yelling at everybody as they were going in. So,
do something.
Well, when you're in the Bible Belt, it happens. I mean, we're really deep into it here. But the best part was we found a really great farmer's market right down the street from there. And we had dinner tonight from the farmer's market. It was a nice shrimp boil, really good corn. So you ever get down here, you need to have a shrimp boil somewhere. So it was good. So hopefully Farah will be here soon. I don't want to rush her. So wanted to be able to spend that time with that granddaughter. If any of you have any questions you'd like to ask while we're waiting, please feel free to ask. I'm more than willing to talk for however long. I spoke all weekend, so.
The Milton grave that we're going to be at tomorrow is the oldest grave in
the Panhandle.
This whole area,
Northwest Florida.
Some you couldn't even read it. They were so old. A lot of 1800s. There was some 17.
Yeah, I mean, this area was founded in the 1500s. So
I don't even. I did a little walkthrough last night. About 2 hours worth, and I didn't think we covered half of it.
We still haven't found the serial killer's gravestone or headstone and stuff, but she doesn't really have a headstone. She just has one of those little aluminum plates.
That's what I was looking for.
And so hopefully we'll find it tomorrow. But we did find the unknown infants area.
We did find that.
Yeah, that was really kind of sad. We will make sure that we ask that question.
It's a good question.
Yes, because it's hard. That's the first thing I'm going to say. It's hard. I've known Ken and Farah. Well, when Ken and Farah were together, he passed away. For those of you who don't know, Ron grew up with Ken. They knew of each other, didn't know each other. Went to the same schools and stuff until they didn't. And back when I was on Paranormal King Radio Network, 8 years ago, 8 years ago at least. And Kevin Malik and Jennifer Malik had a guest on, and they had on Ken and Farah Deal. And they said that they were demonologists, and I wanted to hear them. Ron's like, "What are you listening to?" I said, "No, I'm just listening to Malik's, speak to these demonologists." He goes, "Oh." He goes, "Who are they?" And I said, "I haven't heard their names yet." I said, "But it was, Ken and Farah." And Ron says, "I went to school with a Ken Deal." Because I doubt it's the same person. And Ron goes, "Well, where are they out of?" And so I asked, and all you can hear in the background is Farah tapping, as after I type all this, her fingernails are just going crazy on the keyboard. And I said, I asked them where they were at. They said Springfield, Missouri. And Ron goes, well, it's possible. And
but I said if it's a kin deal, I know. I said it's not the same one.
So I sent back, what school did he go, or what school did he go to? And he said Hazelwood West. And Ron sat up straight and said, what? And I said, when did he graduate? And well, at the time, Farah just put in, 1979. But Ken quit high school, so it would have been 1979 if he had stayed in high school. And so that was funny. And after that, I got in touch with Farah, and I said, next time we come to Springfield, we need to meet up for dinner. Okay, we don't know each other. We're totally and utterly don't know anything about each other. Mm-hmm. And so they're skeptical about meeting strange people, because Ken is as extroverted as he was on the radio, he was introverted otherwise. Mm-hmm. So when you would see or hear them, it would be, Ken was very extroverted, and you're sitting there going, I'd love to meet this guy. He's really outgoing. No, he is very introverted when you would be around him. And so we met up at a random Mexican restaurant that we've never gone back to, by the way. But we met up there, and we stopped and
we found some better ones.
Yeah, we found better ones.
Yeah, not that one was bad.
But we went to the store, and we bought a dessert and some other things, and for us, we figured we'd just go back to our hotel and enjoy it. No, they liked us so much, they invited us to their house, and we went over there. And then after that, it was every visit to Springfield, if it was possible, we all met up. Mm-hmm. So it was a fast friendship from basically the minute they walked into the restaurant. We were best of friends, and we were together almost all the time. No, he was not introverted on the phone.
Not on the phone.
No. In fact,
he's the only one that would call, and Denise didn't get 2 words in. I knew who she was talking to right away.
I just sat there for 2 hours one time while he complained about the computer.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he just needed a sounding board, because he wouldn't let me say anything. But,
Yeah, probably Farah said, nope, I'm not listening.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah, So that was one of the things that, why we became fast friends, was that we were together a lot. Every time we went down, we'd meet up somewhere, we'd go over to their house and just talk. And it was one of the best and easiest friendships that I've ever had.
Hey, Jerry.
So, hey, Jerry. Hey, I wanted to say hi to everybody I haven't said hi to. And hi, Stephanie. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Who else did I miss? Oh, Steve. Hey, Steve. Hey, Mike and Susan. I did see you, and Ron said hi, so I didn't feel like I had to jump. And hello, Mom. So if anybody has any questions that would... Oh, Dan and
Kitty.
Yes, I can't forget Dan and Kitty. Love you, cuz. So if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask Farah when she gets on here, please put them in the chat, and I'll make sure they get asked and answered. And check out her show on Wednesday nights on the Swords of St. Michael's, or Swords of St. Michael, not Michael's, Michael, on YouTube. And I'm in there most Wednesday nights as a bouncer. So check that out. I know a lot of you have heard her talk, and it's always enlightening, to say the least. Very enlightening. So, but yeah, I always love talking to Farah, because she tells you the truth.
She knows how to get in the show, right?
Yeah, she knows how to get in the show. I sent her the thing, but I'll look and see and make sure that she hasn't sent me anything. She has not sent me anything, so we're good. But Ken and Farah, they wrote a bunch of books that are out there still that you can check out. check out online. Go to swordsofsaintmichael.org and you can find them. The Catholic Demonologist Workbook and Study Guide. Some of these books that they've done, this one and the Christian Demonologist Workbook and Study Guide, have been plagiarized by other demonologists. So make sure you check out theirs. Theirs are the original classes that you can learn about this. So there's your one thing that you can use, Cassie. And I have the Christian Demonologist Workbook and Study Guide. And then there's a Haunting Self-Help Guide. I helped with that one on some of the research for Ken. Ken had me, I didn't really help with the research. I'm going to go with, I helped with some of the reading.
Just kicked on.
It's Monday.
I know.
Our sprinklers kicked on and water here is ridiculous and it's horrible. So, but check out that Haunting Self-Help Guidebook. It's really interesting. I got a copy for, I think, my birthday. I think Ken gave me a copy for my birthday one year. So, and Farah's working on some updates to some of these. I don't know which ones, but I'll ask her when I have her on, if I remember. But she's been working on, there she is. She's here. So I'd like to welcome Sister Farah Rose Perry to this. And you look beautiful. Don't worry.
Hi, Miss Denise. I missed you guys.
We've missed you too. I mean, when we were moving here, we drove right by the Kabul and Houston exit, and I went,
"Oh, no way! You should have said something. I would have tossed you some deer corn or something as a parting gesture."
Oh, I had 5 puppies and two dogs in my car. There was no way I was stopping.
Is that all?
That was it. Ron had 4 cats.
And you drove across country.
In 17 hours we did all that. So, but
how many Valium did that take to survive that trip?
0. So I've already told them about the books and how we met, and
sweet
stuff. Told them where to find you on swordsofsaintmichael.org and about your Facebook or your YouTube show on Wednesday nights.
Thank you.
Central.
Thank you.
So that way we could get.
Yeah, that stuff is really kind of in depth, for most people, stepping into faith. There's so much more on the channel about demonology, paranormal, all kinds of stuff. And there's also the movie reviews that I really go in depth, Denise, that people can find if they go to the channel and then click on the videos, because they're categorized. They might get a kick out of some of those.
Well, we're going to start off with a really interesting question. Cassie asks, she goes, my kids want to ask, how does one become a demonologist?
Hi.
Hey, well,
hi, how are you, Ron?
Good.
Goodness gracious. You guys look like you're doing so good, sunning your little bunsies on the beaches of Florida. I love the videos too you guys put out. It's just so good to see you guys again. I'm serious. I'm hoping to get down there for Rosalie's wedding on the 7th, so I'll be able to see you guys then. Hopefully that's barring everything else, but other than that, you know what, we're just gonna have to hope the lanes cross somewhere around here. So the little girl, the daughter, wants to know about how do you become a demonologist. So I hope, is this person over 18 or under 18? Can I ask?
Under.
All right, well, I'm going to be very honest and blunt then, that being a demonologist is not something you would want to do. It's not something I would want to do. It is not something that anybody ought to want to do because of the difficulties that you're going to encounter. So for me to become a demonologist, it started when I was very, very, very young, being very, very, very spooked by very real things. So it's not something that priests can study. Exorcism. Priests can enjoy varieties of subjects when they go to seminary. And the Office of Exorcism has been neglected since 1970, 75. When we look at the study of demonology, which is people think, oh my God, you're studying demons. No, being a religious demonologist is something I look at the psychological, the mythological, the spiritual, and the Christological, the Christian viewpoint of how demons operate properly in our world and the levels of temptation, oppression, possession. So one doesn't really become a demonologist. You have experiences throughout your life that it's something that you realize that you've stepped into when you're 30, 40, 50 years old and go, oh my gosh, that's what happened. It's not something that you would want to do. I hope that's good enough. And if she has more questions, I'd be glad to elaborate.
Oh, yeah. So, hello, Raymond. And Mary is 17. So she's almost old enough to meet your criteria of at least being 18.
Well, the thing of it is that sometimes, there's reasons. A lot of time they looked at people, the age of reasons, 13, 14, you can get married and have babies, when you're 15, 16. Because your saddle was big enough, and that's all that is deemed necessary in most cultures and cities around the globe. If a woman could bear children, she's basically old enough to get married. Now we know from our society and our culture that our children in some ways they're kept childlike. Instead of allowing them to grow up in a trade and be responsible and be mature, they're kept childlike in this thing called high school, so that their thinking is dumbed down. They're treated like they're stupid, and they're not really exposed to some of the harder lessons in life, which are, having to be responsible for who you are, where you are, your money, and what you're doing. So that's why I have the criteria of, are you over 18? Basically because, we tend to live in a Pollyanna, everything's wonderful world until we're 19. We get kicked in the face with reality and go, what?
What do you mean?
That's America.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about your EQ right now.
Yeah, your mom may speak up.
No, that's what kids are told now, that they're the greatest, they're the best,
I know everybody gets a gold star. I don't think so. No. Nobody gets a gold star unless you earn it. But that's the way it used to be. Merit.
I know I didn't get a gold star just for showing up.
Oh, I didn't. I'd usually get smacked on the knuckles, yelled at, sent to the corner because I showed up, and it's like, it's only a minute late, 2 minutes late. That's not on time. And there's such a difference in teaching a young person that your time is valuable, my time is valuable, and it shows in the way they treat other people.
Yeah.
I can't read whose name is popping up there.
That was Cassie. She said, thank you so much for answering.
Oh, anytime, Cassie. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't really know what being a demonologist is. And sometimes I kind of have to explain it a little bit in depth, but it's a lot more than just studying a bunch of occult type books or Christian books. There's so much more to understanding it. It's almost like going to be a brain surgeon. You have to not only know the physiological aspects of the human anatomy, but you also have to understand, you have to have a bedside manner. You have to understand people. There's many facets to it, like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to actually explain on Saturday. I said, yeah, you need to listen to my show on Monday. I said, I'm going to have Farah Rose on, who's a demonologist. And the girl goes, oh, no, I don't need to know anything about that. And I was like, it's not what you think. I said, that's what you're thinking of as Satanism.
Exactly.
As opposed to fighting, things that could happen from Satanism. I said, it's how to fight demons, not how to welcome them into your home.
Yeah, we're not having a show called Denise's The Conjuring Hour. Unless we're conjuring good food and good spirits. Cheers.
Oh, I had that.
We just had a really good shrimp boil for dinner.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. There's nothing like fresh Gulf shrimp. Oh my gosh.
Well, down here they're mostly frozen, but they're frozen because it's just because it's so far out. People don't really get that you want your shrimp to be quick frozen, as opposed to fresh.
It's a different kind.
Yeah, but
that's totally different. I bet.
Yeah, we're going to be getting some really good ones here soon. We're told. So.
Oh, nice.
We're going to go downtown.
I take it. You guys have a good source then.
There's a place here called Joe Patty's. It's historically known for good seafood.
Oh, very nice.
So it's a seafood market.
They're called Royal Reds.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, they come in the Gulf.
They said they taste like lobster.
Yeah, Royal Reds. I wonder if that's like those little tiny. When I was there last in Florida, there was these little tiny lobster tails. They were called rock lobsters. They were really tiny, and oh my gosh, were they just to die for? And I don't know if they still serve them.
Yeah, these are bright red shrimp.
Great. Then you know what? I'm going to order some from the shrimp guy that comes up, because if you guys give me endorse, oh yeah, I've heard about him, but I didn't know if I wanted to pay that much money for them. They're supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, they're not that bad. The price is not that bad.
Yeah, not bad here.
Yeah, I bet. Well, they ship them up from the Gulf, so they're a little pricey, but not as bad as lobster. Lobster's just insane.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to lobster, so for me, I have to go with what it tastes like.
But wait a second. So you can have shrimp but not lobster? That's kind of different.
I can have crab and not be able to eat lobster. There's more mercury in lobster than there is crab.
Isn't that sad?
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy.
That's why we hope these taste like lobsters. That way she can eat it and have that taste.
Oh gosh. You want to taste something that tastes just like lobster. What you need to do is you need to get yourself to the fish market and get some walleye. Peel all the skin off. Get a huge, like a 4-6 quart pot of water to boil. Put in a generous amount of lemon juice, a couple teaspoons of vinegar, just straight white vinegar. Get it boiling. Chunk, and I mean chunk, nice big fat 2 to 2.5 inch chunks of walleye. Drop it in. As soon as it floats, pull it out. Drain it. It tastes exactly like lobster. It's called poor man's lobster in Michigan because the flesh is just, oh my gosh. I love walleye though. And that's the easiest way to just let it boil real quick and just dip it in butter. You're in heaven. If you can eat fish, try walleye.
Now, those are going to be more expensive for us because they don't have walleye down here. All of our fish is swimming in salt.
Of course not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Crab fishing too down here.
Yeah.
So, that sounds like so much fun.
And Dan, we have crabs here as well, and they're about $16 a dozen. I just haven't gotten that far yet. You have to be prepared to eat it then.
Yes, right away. And I love blue crab too. Oh my gosh, soft shell blue crab. Oh gosh. But you know what? When you live in the middle of the country, you can't get nothing. Everything is it's just
what you get is you get beef at a really good price.
And I'm getting deer soon. I'll tell you what, I have got some antlers on my property that like I can't wait. Oh my gosh, fresh deer heart. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Carl just got one Friday night.
Sweet. That's nice. I just got my deer blind up, but Matthew won't let me up in the 10-foot deer blind until he stabilizes it because he doesn't want me flying out of there like Mary Poppins on my back for fall Matt. Number 4.
Yeah, because
No, I just dropped my last nugget.
Hey, I don't want to come up there for your funeral. I want to come up for something.
Well, I don't want you coming up to my funeral either. I would hate to have to make an appearance at my funeral and really scare everybody.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different story. So
exactly.
I know that you're working on your new show, bringing it back. What are you going to be speaking about?
The biggest thing I see right now, especially in and I'm talking from broad spectrum, from the paranormal perspective of everything's okay, all religions are okay, and everybody get along, just use some instruments, get the proof, and exit right, to the very far right, the religious perspective being that it's either in your mind, it's either in your mental or physical illness, it's in a supposition, an imagination, potentially a ghost. Too, you're oppressed and obsessed with something that you allowed to enter that's demonic, religious perspective. So I'm seeing this stuff, you guys, and I want to continue my comparison series on narcissism and the demonic. And the more that, and as a matter of fact, psychiatry and psychology was my major in college when I went to Catholic college. And sadly, I dropped out. The reason being is I don't believe that everybody needs medication. I've always believed in behavior modification therapy. Now, lots of people will argue that, yes, better living through medication. And a lot of cases that I get, working for the diocese, people, if they cannot think straight, if they cannot track straight, they need to be on their medication until things calm down and settle down for them. So what I really, really want to address is I want to address the attitudes in the paranormal communities. I see so many people bashing each other, slamming each other, knifing each other in the back for a location, for somebody they know. Why? It used to be everybody was sharing information, sharing knowledge, sharing their cameras. And, I am so old at 60 here. We used to do string, ribbons, tiny little Christmas bells, powder. Yeah. I would blow smoke from my cigar and just watch it and see what it'd do. I mean, now they have all these newfangled gadgets. The people, almost all the teams I've ever met, they fall apart due to egos.
Yep.
They fall apart due to competition. It's almost like everybody wants to be a rock star again.
Yeah, everybody wants
to be. And I was a rock band years ago too. So I want to talk about this infestation, if you will, of people that have the good intentions in their heart to get together, and they want to help people, and they want to understand whatever it is that's in there, but somehow or another, their mind, their passions and desires gets twisted, and 6 months, a year down the line, they're stabbing each other in the back. They are at each other's throats. They are calling in psychics who really aren't very well grounded in their faith. Because, there are mystics in Christian mysticism. There are mystics that do sense other things that some people don't want to know about or don't allow in. However, when pride gets the better of people saying, oh, I'm a psychic this and I'm a psychic that, discernment and understanding the difference between a spirit that's using you and a spirit that's actually trying to help somebody for the betterment of their soul, totally different opposite ends of the board. So I kind of want to address, the book that I wrote years ago on haunted investigation. I'd like to do a series on speaking about why I wrote the book, what the book was intended for, and how I think that people can step back and look at why are they even in the paranormal if they have to be so competitive that they've got to cut each other's throats just to be heard, to be seen, to be acknowledged. And I think that is the biggest part of our own human desires, our human makeup. Maslow calls them the pyramid of needs, that we need some form of recognition. Standing on somebody else's throat isn't exactly, in my opinion, the way to get it. So, and then, there's, of course, a lot of religious types that basically, I look like a witch, I dress like a witch, so I must be a witch. I smell my armpits, I'm not a witch. You have both ends of the spectrum. So I kind of want to bring them together and let people know no one is as far off as they think we are far off. There are different schools of thought, and there are different elements of educating oneself. However, if you come from a feeling perspective, I'm gonna say that that's nice. Feelings lie. I'm a Stoic. I'm a Catholic. And I understand that, I could look at chocolate pie and feel like I want to dive into that. Does that mean I'm having a demonic attack? No. So, and I know that's very flip. However, a lot of people base, well, I got to put this team together because I feel like I was told to do this. I feel like my spirit guides told me I had to do this. Well, that's not really a good reason to put a team together. And so coming from the perspective of, let's look at who we are, where we've been, where we want to go. Let's set some goals for our lives. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, just investigating. It doesn't have to be, well, I got to get this house cleansed because this is what I know how to do. And this is what I read about. And, I got to have these candles and I got to have this salt. Where is your freaking faith? If you don't have faith in what you do, you're going to get laughed out the damn door by a lot of demonics. So it's my hope that as I open up the topic for discussion, that people will understand I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you what you're doing is wrong. I'll just say it's not going to be fruitful in the long end. I'm going to be perfectly honest and say, you cannot cut half an orange and half an apple and rub them together and go, oh yeah, I'm going to be juicy fruit gum. Ain't going to happen. You're still going to have an orange and you're still going to have an apple, and it's not sticking together, and you can't chew the crap at the same time. All there is to it. So when people understand that helping someone, quote unquote, in the paranormal is no different than somebody on the Christian end of it saying, you know what, you're depressed, you're upset, you've let your imagination run through, and we can understand why you're thinking that you're feeling these things. We're going to pray with you. We're going to show you how to bless your house. I want people to see that both ends are just different sides of the same coin. Either you have a heart to help people or you're full of effing BS. I can't say that on the air, so I'm just going to say BS.
I can say it, but it's true. I mean, I watch a lot of people that they give lip service to helping others, but aren't. They're helping themselves. And that does not, it gives the paranormal a bad name.
Seriously.
And it doesn't help the people that truly are trying to help.
What I love, Denise, is I love these people that, they're like me. They're like 132nd Menominee Indian, but I'm Indian and I can wave my sage and I can do my ceremonies that I looked up online because I got some Indian blood in me. Right. Okay. We can all adopt whatever Heinz 57 bloodline we want to adopt. What's in our heart? What do we believe? Where is our faith? What master do we serve? We can't serve two masters. No. We cannot serve two masters. And I think that's the hardest thing, is that people want to be accepted in all circles. So I think a lot of exaggeration goes on, if I can say that. And it's just, you end up with a lot of, people are confused. They don't know if they should call this team. They don't know if they should call that church. They don't know if they should call these people. And these people came highly recommended, but these people are on TV and these people were used by so-and-so. So that's where the drive in this whole industry is, for people to say, oh yeah, I worked with the Booth brothers. I worked with Ajax and Sons on cleaning up the mystical Maryland mansion. Who gives a rat's ass? They do, because it's going to give them money. And this is not about money.
No, it's not. And I tell people all the time, don't use sage. There's better things to use.
Way better things.
And the first question I ask if they're wanting their house cleared, what religion are you?
Exactly. What do you practice?
I kind of send it back to their religion. It's back to them. I've always told people, don't investigate your own home. Makes sense. You have to live there. I also
not that your feelings are involved. Your feelings are involved. I feel this. Right. I feel that. I don't care what you feel.
Right. And it's like when we go to investigate somebody else's home, I go in there with the idea or not the idea, but I go in with I am going to clear this home when I go in. I am not walking out that door until they get what they need. And I go in prepared for that. It's not, I'm going to investigate it and I'm going to go home and if there is a demonic or an entity in that house that's wreaking havoc on their family, I'm not leaving them with it. That's the part that I don't get about some of these teams. I investigated this location for 6 months.
Wow.
Why? If
no
you're
kidding.
Doing it right, you go in there once, you solve the problem, and you go home. You get them the right help. I don't get it. And, we had one lady that had contacted us, and she knew that that's what we did. And she goes, but I don't want you to get rid of it. Then why did you call?
Precisely. Why are you wasting my time?
Or you had these other people that said, where are the TV cameras and stuff? Are you taping this?
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Exactly. What channel is this going to be on?
Right.
0.
See you later.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people want. They want their 15 seconds of fame and fortune. They want to think that, they can make money off of whatever exists in their house. And a lot of times it's just in their mind.
And they don't want to hear that. They never want to hear that their house isn't really haunted. It's just,
it's what they are making it out to be.
How often have you been at helping someone and it wasn't their house that was haunted? It was something else.
Almost every time. There's been very few homes I've actually walked into where the property was actually, most people would say it's cursed. And because I've been to quite a few haunted places with wonderful, beautiful, wispy visages, the whole face visage in the window, the smells of old rose water and cigar pipes. I mean, those are kind of fun hauntings because, it's like whatever it is that God's allowed to hang out there, it's not scaring you. It's not trying to rape you. It's not there to make you run screaming down the corridor. It just is. It's no different than a pile of dust in the corner. It's just there. Yeah. However, the majority of the time when you get people calling saying, I got this pack of 10 little Indians in my backyard and look at all the tapes I've got. And I look at the tapes and it's basically pareidola. You're looking at shadows that do look like the outline of something, but there's nothing clear.
Right.
And this person had a whole box. And I actually called the church for this woman because she was suffering so much. And they did a complete exorcism on the house, and she wouldn't turn off her cameras. She wouldn't stop doing what she was doing.
Right.
And so a month later, she's like, we need to get the priest back. I'm like, what for? Did you do what they said? I'm not turning off my cameras because that's my security. Stop looking at the tapes. Make your husband do it. Wouldn't do it. But that's like one example of somebody that's absolutely obsessed. And that's, and I actually had somebody ask me, to comment for an article in one of the Catholic papers. We've got more of these sensational type exorcism shows. And they were asking me, says, what kind of calls are you going to expect to get in? And along the lines of what we're talking about, people see this stuff. I can't remember because, I don't watch that stuff. Occasionally somebody makes me watch it and I want to go gag a maggot after I take a shot of 100 proof gin. It's like, did I really waste my hour watching that?
Yep.
And because it's all set up, it's all cued in, and no disrespect to any of the actors that are making their money, but you know what? I feel ya. I was an actress. I made money doing it. But when they're affecting these people that are sad, depressed, lonely, hurting, missing their children. They've lost relatives and they can't get over it. They're wearing them on chains because they can't let go of their loved ones, or they're wearing them on rings because, they have to have that person right there. This is not in any way disparaging their emotional state. This is the basis for Satan's playground in their mind, to let them think that there's really something going on when it's not, when it's just an opportunity for their obsession with what they've seen to actually make happen, that it's not really there. It's their own subconscious desires. And that, as well as, I had a couple cases lately where the grandparent is raising the grandchild, and the grandchild continues to bring in, you name it, these beautiful scrying bowls that that you get to sit and look forever, call it visages, just some really unusual stuff that the grandparent hadn't seen. I says, oh yeah, that's used for this, that's used for that, and I don't want to promote that stuff. That's why I'm not saying what it is. But if people have any questions, they can always ask me, because I don't want to give any attention to the stupid little minion MFers that are pestering the crap out of everybody. They're idiots. They're fools. And we just sit there and go, oh my God, my house, I'm haunted. My house is haunted. I heard 3 knocks. Are you sure that wasn't Fido farting in the corner? If we don't look for the logic of life, we're going to make up the mystical that doesn't exist.
We've been in people's homes that had buzzing in their walls and did not realize it was their wiring, or that there was a bee's nest in their wall.
How about squirrels?
They're scratching.
I hear scratching on my ceiling. I said, "Well, that tree branch going right underneath your roof there, where they can crawl up in there." I said, "That's." And I watched the squirrel go down and go right in their roof, and I went, "There you go."
Or birds.
How about the person that's woken up every night, like at 1 o'clock, and they hear this, and it's raccoons leaving their freaking attic. They're leaving the attic. Come on. Get a GoPro. Oh, park it.
There was this.
They still wouldn't believe you.
There was this.
Location. That's the problem.
So the Sedamsville Rectory. I don't know if you know about that place, but we went there when it was opened as a paranormal location. It's now.
Oh wow.
The church has now taken it back, so it's no longer a place that you can go. But we were there. We went out and we went in the door like we were supposed to. And we're sitting in the kitchen getting our stuff out. And all of a sudden you hear.
Oh my.
And growling. Okay.
Yeah, and growling. I'm like, damn, we haven't even been here 5 minutes.
And I open up the curtain and I look outside and there's 2 raccoons. They got names. Their names are Hoover and Kirby because they were sucking up the food from
they set out dog food
every night
for stray dogs and
cats. Yeah, cat food for cats. And
that is so not wise.
And what's funny is this happened on Ghost Adventures too.
Yep.
And they did not call it out that there was raccoons eating out of cat litter boxes outside. No, they did not. So when we saw it, I was like, oh my God, because they were wanting to play up the part where there was a dog fighting operation that was in the basement. Yeah. You couldn't even get in these stairs without getting hurt. I mean, they were.
My gosh.
And I couldn't even go down the stairs. But yeah.
I mean, you could look down in there, shine a flashlight, and you have to go in.
Yep. And my cousin Dave, he says his house is haunted by his grandpa. He comes and up this, goes up the steps, opens the basement door, but then he walks up the steps and he's walking on the old wooden steps, but his steps are carpeted.
Yeah.
The thing is when he says his grandpa, that's my grandpa too.
Aw.
My great grandpa. And
you said you heard it too.
Yeah, I've heard it too.
Yeah, we were there.
But my Aunt Minnie is there too. So,
but
it's comforting to be there. It is just
comforting
to be in that house.
Scare you.
Right.
That's a tell.
So Dan is lucky to be living in that house. It's part of our family history, and it's amazing. It's in Bristol, so
how incredible!
Yeah, right by King College too. So historically speaking, it's just a neat place to go out there.
Sounds like it. Sounds amazing.
I know. I can't wait to get up there. It's not that far now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should tell him to take some pictures so you can post them on Facebook so you can get everybody salivating to get you up there.
Oh, I don't need pictures. I know. I've been there.
Yeah, we've been there.
I tell everybody, I said, it's funny. I said, I remember walking into this house when I was a kid and being terrified of the grate on the floor.
Yeah.
And the porch on the back, it was really high up. It was kind of like the porch was on stilts. It felt like it was like if you walked out there, you're going to fall. And great grandma was one that you didn't cuss. And so we were kind of terrified of her and her little Bible, you know, just to think that it was. But yeah, it's one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, we did a show from the Dan and Kitty's house one time.
Yeah, I did one of my shows out there.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, that sounds wonderful.
It is. It's nice being out there. And Judy was there. Judy was just in here a little bit ago. So
oh, nice.
So my family got to see what I do on the side, and because that was before it was video. You know, now they can see me. They know what I'm doing. They know I'm not back picking my nose. But then they didn't know that.
No, they had no idea what you were really doing.
No, I actually have to get dressed for this.
I hear you. I hear you.
I have to do it for her now.
So
you guys all settled in, and you taking in any interesting tours of celebrity houses or anything?
No, we just were talking before you came on. We went to a paranormal conference over the weekend and met some people, and we're having lunch with one of the guys I had interviewed back in January, Rob Booth.
Nice.
We're going to meet up with him. He actually does he plays Santa Claus at Christmas time because he looks like Santa Claus, but he's a paranormal investigator. So
that's incredible. How sweet.
So
been doing it for a while.
Yeah. He does photo shoots with children and stuff, and retired military, good guy. Like I said, we're going to meet up with him for lunch this week and hear about some of the local plantations. Found out about a town here that's almost every building's haunted. It's in Marianna, Florida. We had planned on checking out down near Cedar Key, but can't go down there right now. You know, the hurricane took care of a lot of that.
Yeah.
Love you, Judy. Enjoy work.
Back to work.
So, but yeah, it sucks when you think about, hey, we want, what's between Apalachicola and Cedar Key? Destruction.
Yeah.
So we wanted, there's some ghost towns out that way as well. So we've got a few places we want to check out. There's some weird places that have some weird haunted history that I want to check out. But we're doing an investigation tomorrow night. We're checking out the Milton Cemetery here. It's the oldest cemetery in the Panhandle. So we're going to check that out and see if there's anything there. We're going to see if it's haunted. At this point,
I would think with all the miles of coastline you've got, from some of the people that I've known that have lived in Florida, I've heard a lot of stories of the voodoo, the Jamaican mix of Santeria, Spanish worship, kind of a different kind of voodoo, and coming up through the swamps of Florida and migrating north. Just like, there was a lot of slaves that were hidden and moved up north to Canada. It happened in Florida too. So it might be interesting to look into some of the slave bunkers.
There's some here. So Pensacola, for those who don't know, is actually older than St. Augustine. And it's just St. Augustine. St. Augustine was continuously lived in, where this people came and went and came and went. But yeah, it's 5 years older than St. Augustine.
Wow.
That they know of. So some of the graves at the graveyard here are from the 1600s. 1682 is the oldest one, but it was a child. And so there was no headstone until much later because it was just people traveling through that had died. But here, we're Milton. So think about that. Milton would be Milltown. It was Milltown. Yes. And so there are a bunch of mills in this area. That's what founded this was, all the trees here. They would come in here, cut them all down and take them somewhere else. We still see trees every day going up and down the road where they're taking them to the mill. So we've got.
They must be trying to plant them and harvest them, in a timely manner.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Because I can't. These are trees. I mean, they're pine. And so, but yeah, we have a lot of evergreens here. But we have the Baghdad Mill because one of the oldest towns here besides Milton is Baghdad.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Milton Mill, and then there was the other mill that's down the street that we still have to go to. And they say that these areas are haunted, but you know what? I haven't been there, so I can't say are they haunted. I have to go and check it out and then figure it out. And I don't want to go in with, hey, somebody told me this is haunted. I want to go in with, I want to check this place out and see.
You want to go in with an open mind and see what's happening there.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
Is it haunted, or is it just the wind is blowing and people hear things?
Exactly. And people are like, oh, I know the stories about this place. My dad told me stories. And automatically they're predisposed to think that, oh yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Yeah, we don't do any research before.
Yeah, it's just like going to the graveyard tomorrow. Yeah, there is a serial killer that she was put to death at Sing Sing. She was electrocuted.
Sad.
She had if you look it up, they were these were killers that the man and the woman met through the lovelorn stuff in the newspaper.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, the post in the newspaper.
Back in the 40s. That's how they met.
Wow.
And they got together, and he was a horrible guy that basically controlled her and made her do things. Whatever those things are, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't know how many they killed.
But yeah, they killed
they know of 3, but they suspect a lot more.
They killed a mother and a dog mother in Michigan, and then when her baby started crying, they killed the baby. And the thing is Michigan didn't have the death penalty. So they had killed somebody in New York, so they shipped them back to New York so that they could get the death penalty, and both of them were electrocuted. And they brought her home. And the thing is this woman, her father was the printer for the 2 Milton newspapers here. So these were well-known people here in the area back in the 1920s to the 1950s. And so Dad died while she was doing whatever it is she was doing. And they brought her body back here, and she's buried next to him, but it was an unmarked grave for many, many years. So
probably for good reason.
Yeah, well, yeah, because everybody knew. So they, like I said, they put a little.
Well, not only that, but your Santeria folks dig up bones like that of murderers and people like that, and they use them in ceremonies. So,
yeah,
may not be marked then.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, it is marked. I saw a picture of it. Find a grave is a great.
But...
No, she is.
Okay.
The Find a Grave was updated not that long ago, and it showed a little aluminum plaque.
Yeah, that's all.
Wow.
So, but
that's crazy stuff.
Recently, in the same cemetery, a body was found in an open grave, and they didn't know who it was for the longest time. So somebody had either fell into it. Or was put into it after the fact.
Fired right there.
I cannot find any more on it, but this was just recently, like in 2022.
Wow.
They found a body in a grave. So, but just recently, on top of that, one of the town founders, one of their family members was killed by another family member.
Whoa.
So this is their ancestors, and we've came across a whole bunch of their graves, but
that's so not cool.
But yeah, so we've got some stuff going on out there. I just don't know what. And then on top of that, add in that the graveyard that we're going to be in, it was segregated. So this part of the graveyard was
free and slave.
Yeah, and then the back part which is across the street, was not white. And
wow.
And I don't know how that one's going to feel. I mean, it's like I said, it's just right across the street. It's technically the same graveyard, but it's two different ones.
we probably won't get to that one. We'll have a part 2.
Yeah.
But I will guarantee you we will be attacked tomorrow night.
Mosquitoes.
You
guys are going to be a feast, a table of yummy blood.
Yeah, we got
thousands and thousands of ant piles.
How awful.
They are.
How awful.
They are. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But we did find there's one part of the graveyard that is for the unknown infants.
Oh, yeah.
And,
usually abandoned ones that are left to die on steps all over the city because their mothers didn't want them and they couldn't do the abortion thing, so they just abandoned the kid.
Yeah, there's that. There's also the stillborn babies and all that. There's a lot of that. You can see where there's some that were very well loved, even though they didn't make it very long. But it's sad to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific.
But
it's really horrific.
There was one they buried their dog next to them.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
No. They had I came up to the back of it and I saw a picture of a dog and I thought, well, they must have loved their dog. I took a picture of it and I went to the front. No, it's the dog's grave and they were next to it.
It's amazing. This graveyard, it only costs $500 for a plot.
You're kidding.
Nah, they're big.
Good
they're not right on top of each other. It's kind of weird.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're real big.
The first year that the graveyard was actually open, like I said, there was only one burial. In the second year, there was only 3, and they were all children.
But they're all over the place. It's not symmetric or not. It's just they're all over.
So remember the graveyard you took us to in Springfield, where the graves were chaotic?
Oh, that makes
totally. There was like groups. Yeah. It was so weird.
Yeah,
so weird.
That one there.
Well, what's really strange about this is that it's nice straight lines, and then it's not. And I'm like, what world is this? And it makes it hard for me to focus when it's off kilter like that, because I think I don't know. I would think that all their feet would be facing west, or facing east back then.
I would think so too. That's kind of crazy.
So, but I don't know. It's going to be weird, but
it'll be fun, kind of weird.
Yeah, we hope no technical issues and everything will be good.
Technically,
lots of mosquito spray.
Yeah.
Or just wear a big old net bonnet.
And,
with our luck, it's going to be really hot and sticky.
How are the temperatures right now there?
It was like 90 today.
About 90, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you guys are getting your Indian summer too.
Well, we're hoping for. We were teasing everybody at the Paranormal conference.
Nice and cool.
Yeah, it is. We were teasing everybody that we want to go tell everybody on Thanksgiving that we're going to the beach.
Of course.
Which we are. That is a plan.
That is the plan.
I mean, it's going to be so nice and cool then. It'll be probably down the 80s for you guys.
Yeah.
That'll be cool for Florida.
I mean, the water's
still be warm.
Yeah, the water's been 90 degrees.
I was gonna say the water. You guys have dangerous temperatures there for the coral reefs. The waters have reached, I guess, 99, 102 degrees and are killing parts of the coral reef right now. It's so dangerous. Not that they haven't seen it before, but it's nice. It's like a sauna.
Yeah. Well, we were out in the ocean. Was it 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was.
And it was so warm, it wasn't even refreshing.
Yep.
So but Lindsay
That's what they were talking about.
Yeah, it was toasty.
She went on Sunday, and she's happened to catch a bunch of stingrays going by.
Oh my gosh, really?
It was so pretty.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. Stingrays are so beautiful.
Yeah, and their little fins were coming up out of the water.
And yeah, there's quite a few.
And one time we were on Escambia Bay. We have this great Dairy Queen where you can look over the bay. I mean,
nice.
Think about it. Go to Dairy Queen and you're sitting out there just watching the water, and you see this thing come up, and it looks like a shark or a dolphin. And I told him, I said, it's probably stingrays.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen them.
You see them again.
And you know the interesting thing about those stingrays, my brother and I used to swim with them all the time in the Gulf when I lived in Corpus Christi. They're not dangerous when they're swimming around. They're totally friendly. It's only when they're buried under the sand that you got to be careful of them.
Yeah. So if you see them, you're probably fine. And don't do
fine.
This. Yeah, don't
lean over their butts and go, "What's up that?" Boom.
Yeah.
No, because that's what killed the crocodile hunter. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So
that's such a freak accident.
I know.
Yeah. Ron kept saying, he goes, out of all things I thought would kill him, that wasn't it.
Yeah, it was one of the last.
Isn't that the truth?
Wow.
That's like, whoa.
So Farah,
yeah.
Where can everybody find you?
Well, everybody can find me. I have a Swords of St. Michael group on Facebook that you can join for, questions, that sort of thing. It doesn't have to pertain to demonology. It can pertain to ghostology. It can pertain to cults, occult usage, whatever. That's on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube at Swords of St. Michael. Myself and my former husband did a lot of videos on the paranormal, interviewing a lot of people, such as Denise, other people that we knew that worked in the paranormal, as well as exorcists, so that you can hear a lot of different people's viewpoints and their practices on that YouTube channel, as well as some very in-depth faith-based stuff that's going to help you self-exercise. You can also find me online. Like, let's just say you need a real quick prayer of exorcism for yourself. If you go to swordsofstmichael.org, there are information tabs for prayer, deliverance prayer, books. You can order special saints, medals, protection medals that I make. I also have a prayersbythebead.com website if you want some sort of special medallion or saint protection for you or anybody on your team. And other than that, you can find me occasionally here on the Paranormal Pride, yakking away and talking shop.
So, well, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate the time that you took out of your daily schedule to come on here and educate others on demonology. And I hope you'll come back again in the future.
I always have a great time talking to you guys. And, anytime you have a topic that, needs to be discussed, whether it's, the current culture, the hidden culture, I love to sit and yak with you guys. Thank you so much for having me, guys. You guys look wonderful, and I'm so happy you made it to Florida safe.
Well, I hope you make it down here for Rosalie's wedding.
I know. I hope so too.
So, and if you don't, we'll at least be there. We'll make an appearance.
I know. You guys will at least be there. Exactly.
I cannot wait for her wedding, and Rosalie, is still November 10th, correct?
Yes, as far as I know.
So,
as far as I know, haven't heard anything different.
Yep. So, like I said, I cannot wait. I haven't been to Destin yet since we've lived here, so can't wait to go. So
yeah, it's a nice
Well,
little town.
we had to wait till the tourists all left.
Oh, I know. Isn't the truth?
Yeah.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is. It is true.
so
It's totally different. Once the tourists leave, you guys
I
can enjoy
know.
Florida.
Rosalie,
joy.
I will be wearing jeans.
Jeans? Oh no, shorts.
I'll be wearing jeans or shorts or whatever. But
Whatever you're comfortable in. If it's 100 degrees,
even
you're going to
break
be
out
wearing a
some-
sarong.
oh yeah, let's all go in speedos.
Yeah, speedos and togas.
Here we go.
You're comfortable.
Go to the party.
Rosalie's gonna go. Oh crap! What did I do?
Yeah.
I know. What did I start now?
So, but yeah, please join us here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central for the Paranormal Pride. I will be bringing to you some new guests here very, very soon. And join us tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central on Paranormal Nation
Night, Dan
Radio.
and Kitty.
Not so normal. Right, everything you can be seen right here on the Bill of Rights Network pages and the Paranormal Pride pages. So, and if you can't find it, send me a message. I'll tell you where to go. It's my favorite thing to do. So you guys all have a great night. And thank you, Farah, so much.
Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great night. God bless.
Thank you.
Good night.